Something that breaks my heart, I think that's kind of a intense or an exaggerative term to use when I talk about it, but it really does genuinely bother me, is when I'm driving down the road, and here in Arizona, it can be 110, 115, even up to 120 degrees in the summer. And I'll see an individual on the sidewalk, not meaning to be judgmental, but you can tell that they have not been taking care of themselves. They're very overweight, they're very out of shape, and they're out in 110, 115 degree weather going for a run. The chances of that person not being super beat up from that, or the fact that they're going to be back out there again the next day, probably not going to be the best scenario, the best situation. And unfortunately, what I think a lot of people in that scenario think, this is what it takes, this is what I have to do in order to get in shape. And it's not true. They could get on a stationary bike like I'm on, going for walks in the mornings, couple hour walks if you have the time. You could be doing swimming laps. There's so many different ways to get into that calorie expenditure and burn calories that you don't have to do something like that that's like going to hell and back. That's not really sustainable.